Welcome back to Better Than Fiction with Jeanette and Eden. June is done. We are halfway officially through the year.
Yes, we are.
6 months down.
Absolutely.
Check. July is here.
That also means summer reading is here. We do have adult bingo sheets if you like to
Partake,
partake, and actually your reading then counts like for not only your TBR list but for your bingo. And if you get bingos, you win tickets. And then we have 3 wonderful nonprofits that you put your tickets in. You get to choose, and the Friends of the Library, because they're such wonderful partners, are going to donate $1 for each one of your ticket to those nonprofits. So just had to put the plug in. Don't forget your adult bingo sheets. Get double points.
Yeah, and they're super easy bingos.
And they're super fun. We want to go not easy but fun.
Yeah.
It's all about having fun while we dig out from under our TBR list, especially if you keep adding to it, which is a problem.
Yep. I keep doing that this year around. Every time I DNF a book, I'm like, oh gosh.
I know. Well, you know, and I will say in a couple of the trips we got that I'll be taking this fall, they all include like multiple bookshops as well as handwork shops. Yikes. So I need to pick up my speed, and I've slowed down a little bit.
Oh, I did too.
But I got my stuff done. But Eden, let's hear about you and your not stuff done.
My not stuff done. I think I read 5, maybe 4 books this month. So a really low month for me. Our book number, I read, I really wanted to read She Who Became the Sun. This was not the time to pick up this book for me. I really still want to read it, so I'm gonna keep it on my list and just get to it another time. It's not a summer read where you want something light and easy to get into. The beginning of this is very slow. Very interesting, but very slow. It was up for 2 awards when it debuted in 21. It was its author's first book as well. So it went for the Hugo and then something else. It didn't win, but it was nominated for 2 awards. So it's supposed to be very, very good. It was just very slow for me to get into, and it just wasn't. Every time I picked it up, I was like, oh, okay, here we go again. So did not get to this. Hopefully we'll get to this.
But always remember, just because it is on a list doesn't mean it's the right thing for you.
That's true. That is true.
And the way I look at it, if you've tried multiple times, sometimes you got to say no, or try it at a different time. I think absolutely seasonal isn't really important.
I think it seriously is a seasonal thing because it's very up my alley. It's historical fantasy. It's set in China, which I love Asian historical fantasy. And it's about this young woman who takes over her dead brother's identity and just like
that just kind of sounds like it should be up your alley.
I know.
Try it this winter.
Seriously, it was the timing of that one. And then our book prompt was read a dystopian. So I picked up
book set in the future.
Book set in the future. Yeah,
it doesn't have to be horror. You know, like terrible viruses and zombies and.
So I picked up The Winter's Orbit, thinking it was going to be it's a bit set in the future because it's like set in different planets because their planet that it did inhabit wasn't habitable anymore. So they're kind of set in the future, but I don't think it's like on our timeline by any means. It was interesting, a little mystery, science fiction. It was interesting, yeah. I read it. It's one of the few books I read this month. Yeah. That was pretty much it. The only thing I really read this month that I was like in love with was a fan fiction. So okay,
took up a lot of time. But again, those are fast, quick.
No, this one was not fast. It was like on my Kindle. It said when I started it was going to take me like 34 hours to read, which is a long time.
That's a novel.
Yeah, it was a full-fledged novel. Yeah, but it was very good. It's all the young dudes. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, for our number, I read Wayward by Amelia Hart. I had my own copy on my shelf. If I would have known the library didn't have it, I would have brought it in. It is a family history with those who have been considered witches in the past. They do herbal remedies. There's a little bit of supernatural kind of thing going on. It was a nice read. It was good. The cover I love. It was green, had the crow on it, because the crow plays a role in the story. And it talked about the abuse of women through different, ages, from the history clear up to current on. It was a little bit of abuse, so it had some trigger warnings for particularly the modern part of the story. Was very abusive relationship, but it actually mirrored the grandmother's or great aunt's story as well. Or yes, the great grandmother. So there's a few trigger issues if you do pick it up, if those topics are very sensitive to you. But the story was good. It read quickly. Just a lovely story setting,
Yeah.
Lovely, not necessarily by the topic, but the writing was nice.
Yeah.
It was a fast read. For the novel set in the future, I read The Blue Beautiful World by Karen Lloyd. This was longlisted for, I think it was Hugo, or the women's, or one of the Booker prizes. It was also on multiple lists. It was disappointing to me. I don't know what I had it built up to be, but it was fine. It just was kind of okay. I read it. Because it was supposed to be kind of like first contact with aliens and doing it differently, and some of these weird, odd people coming together. It was very much corporation-like. I don't know. I read it.
Missed your mark.
It missed my mark. It was not my book. But it's also not a bad book. It was, some interesting thought processes for the future. So here it is. I guess I was struggling a little bit to find that book that you just can't put down. I read lots of great books that are just nice, and I read them, I enjoyed them, but nothing caught me that said, I just got to read this, leave me alone, do not even look at me, I have to finish this book. I just didn't find one of those this month, so I am on the hunt for one of those books. But I also have made it a point to read down the physical books in my apartment.
Yep.
So because the pile's too big, so I am working on that really, really hard. So
we'll get there, maybe.
Maybe. Not if I go to bookshops all
Probably
fall.
not. No.
No.
Okay.
What are we doing first? Numbers?
Number.
Picking up dough.
Just pick one, please.
5. We are reading number 5. I will be reading The Unmaking of June Farrow.
And I will be reading How Not to Die Alone by Richard Roper. Yeah. Seems uplifting.
I have a feeling it might have a little bit of satire in it.
I think so too.
And our book prompt. Hopefully not stuck together because Eden's impatient. Oh boy. Read a classic. Read a classic. Oh, Eden's gonna struggle. Should we try it again?
No, it's all right.
In July to read a classic.
Let's see.
All
I don't
right.
even know.
Read a classic. We have a few of those probably on the bookshelf.
Yeah, I'm not sure any are on my TBR list, but we'll find something.
You might be surprised what is now considered. We're going to go with, by reading a classic, it could be a more standard classic, a Penguin classic, or what is now considered modern classics.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's where you'll be a little more modern, and
yeah.
I guess there's some things on your TBR that could be considered something.
Classic,
A modern classic. So there we go. Number 5, and read a classic, and be very wide based when it comes to the word classic.
Yes, yeah.
So you can choose a lot of different things.
Very good.
All right, well, we wish you a happy 4th. Hopefully you get some read time in.
Yeah.
Don't forget to pick up your bingo sheets, and
Happy reading.
happy reading. Look.
I even brought one for you. Okay. After a year, and you finally remember to bring your own pen.